Hello students, in this video we will see the isometric projection of the solids. That is what a problem number 4. So problem number 4 is what? It is combination of two objects. So one is what? It is a cylinder of 80 mm diameter and with height of 50 mm, and over this cylinder a 30 mm side pentagonal prism of base side 30 mm and height 50 mm is going to rest. So the combination is what? The axis of cylinder and the prism are coincide. Axis of the cylinder and axis of the prism are coincide. So now let us see how we can solve this problem using solid edge. So first is you go for sheet setup. So here you select A4 size, you just say OK, you go for fit option, then you select view menu, you go to background sheet. So here you click on A4 sheet, so you gone for background size as A4, you select here A4 size, so you remove revision history as well as title block. Once you done this, you go back to view menu, turn off this background sheet. So now you can just observe here you got a sheet 1, A4 sheet, A3, A2, A1. Now these are the background sheets here. A1 to A4 are a background sheet. So now I need to off those background sheet. Now select view menu, turn off background sheet. So now you just observe here you got only one, that is what a sheet 1. Now start it. Let us draw a very thin line. You can select any color here for your reference purpose. Sorry. Then you draw one vertical line. So now let us construct first parallelogram of size 80 mm. So let us draw first 80 mm, draw a line 80 mm at an angle of 30 degree. Now draw a line at an angle of 150 degree. Now draw a line at an angle of 210 degree, then you join here. Now let us draw some construction lines. So to construct the arc from different corner points as well as reference points. So let us draw a line from this corner to connect to opposite edge midpoint. Okay. So if you are not getting clear, use zoom window option here. That is what a zoom area. You just select a window to view it clearly. Now you got some center points here. Let us take this as O1, O2, O3, O4. Now let us draw the arc. Let us draw the arc by center point method. So now I will keep this as a center point, this much as a radius. Let us try from OK. Similarly, take this as a center point, this much as a radius. Let us draw arc. Now you completed 2 arcs. Similarly, you complete another 2 arcs. So considering center point, so here intersection of this line will give one center point. So keep that as a center point. Then so if you are not getting properly, you can just draw in some other directions, then you go for extending it. Okay. Similarly, draw an arc on this side also. Now this completes the base surface of the cylinder. Now you identify the midpoint of this parallelogram. Let us draw one line here. Now you got parallelogram midpoint. Now we will delete this vertical line. Okay. Now we will just draw one more line here. That is our center line. Okay. Now from this midpoint, okay, from this midpoint I am going to draw a line of length 50 mm, because height of the cylinder is 50 mm. Now let us select it. So change line type to center line type. So now it is for your reference purpose. This line is for your reference purpose. What I will do, to draw the top surface, I am going to use move option here. We'll turn on copy, just place a window. Now I selected this entire parallelogram as well as ellipse shape. Now we'll keep this as a midpoint, center reference point here. This is a reference point, and I will move over here. Okay. Now you got a top surface. So now if you are getting confusion, you can just erase this back side edge of bottom surface. Okay. Now let us take a line from this quadrant point. You just connect some vertical lines. Okay. So now you can trim this portion with respect to this edge. You can trim this portion with respect to this vertical edge. Let us trim. Now this is the cylinder. So now you need to draw pentagon prism. So now let us draw a regular pentagon. So side is 30 mm. I will complete first one edge. Now as the outside angle of this pentagon becomes 72 degree, so let us complete first pentagon. You calculate the outside angle, then you go for add on angle for edge wise or for side wise. Now you got a pentagon. Next you need to construct a rectangle covering all corner points of this pentagon. Now let us take a line of a 0.13 thickness. You can change here. Okay. Now you completed rectangle. Now you measure the length of the edges. Now it is 48.54. Now this vertical edge is 46.13. Now let us construct a rhombus. So now we will take a reference point here, or else I will draw one vertical reference line first. Now let us construct. It is a 48.54, 30 degree. Okay. Next, this distance is 46.17, angle is 150. Now this distance is 48.54, angle is 210. Now let us join here. Okay. Now you got a rectangular shape that has been oriented in isometric projection. Okay. Now you measure the distance of all these corners with reference to measure the distance of all pentagon corners with reference to this rectangle corners. Okay. Now I will measure distance here. it is 9.27. It is 9.27. It is 17.63. Okay. Now this is on exact middle, I hope. Okay, 24.27, it is exactly middle. Okay. Now take an R command here. Okay. Now keep corner point as a reference. Considering 9.27 as a radius, you just cut over here. Sorry, you cut over here. This length is 48.54. Okay. Similarly, keep reference point here. Now take radius as 9.27. Okay. You got this point and this point. Okay. Now again take R, keep this as a reference point. Now what is the radius here? Radius is 17.63. Okay. Now let us remove this extra R. Okay. Now let us go for zoom area. Now take a line option. You go for 0.5 thickness. Let us change color. Now connect all these points. Connect this point, and midpoint of this edge, and end point of this arc, as well as end point of this arc. Okay. Now this completes the pentagonal shape. Okay. Now you identify midpoint here. Okay, you can just connect. So make it as a thin. Okay. Similarly, you draw one more line here. From this point, you just draw midpoint. Okay. Now, based on problem definition, this surface, base surface of this pentagonal prism has to rest over the top face of the cylinder. Now what I'll do, I'll go to move option, I'll turn on copy, place an selection window. Okay. Now I'll select this midpoint as a reference point, and I'm going to move over end point of this line. Okay. Now you got a top surface, bottom surface of the pentagonal prism over the top surface of the cylinder. Now what is the height of prism? Again, it is height of the prism is 50 mm. What I'll do, I'll draw one more reference line here. From this midpoint, I'll draw one more line at 50 mm height. Okay. Now this is what end point of the line. Now height of the line is how much? You just observe, it is 50 mm. This represents the height of the prism. Again, I'll go to move option. I will select here copy. Again, I will select this pentagon shape. I'll keep midpoint as a reference point. I'll place over here. Okay. So once you've done it, Now we connect the top surface corner to the bottom surface corner point. Now let us see line 0.5 mm thickness. This corner point is going to connect here. Change line type, it is to be continuous. So connect this end point to this end point, and from this end point to this end point. Now which portion is hidden? Let us just delete over the hidden portion. Let us delete the hidden portion. So if you are not getting the objects as you needed, you go for zoom area option, then you delete it. Now I have completed both diagrams. That is what a cylinder and prism. Now we go to use scale option, as it is to reduce 0.816. Okay. Now this completes the isometric projection of the cylinder and pentagon